Welcome to Friday night, not so live again. My name is Sharon Rogers and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine, and Crash and I are welcoming you to another Friday in Mrs. Rogers' Stamperhood. I have a cute little card for you tonight made with the new Hearts and Hugs stamp set. Well, it's actually a bundle from Stampin' Up! And it's in that new catalog that just debuted. So I hope you're going to enjoy this project. Let's get to it. Okay, let's get started. I have a piece of white scrap, just regular thin basic white. I'm gonna open up my stamp set and get out that cute little mouse. I'm mounting him on the size block that is closest to his size. And then I'm going to stamp him. I'm really going to stamp a couple because I have a couple of thank you cards to make. I might as well do them all at once before I wash my stamp. So there are two ways to clean your stamps. Just a reminder, you can use this, which is a Stampin' Mist. It's got a nice kind of rose scent to it. And your Stampin' Scrub. Or you can use your chamois, which I don't have with me, but that just uses water. Chamois is great for on the go. And since I'm traveling right now, as you're watching this, I brought my chamois with me. All right, we're gonna color this guy. So I'm gonna bring in Smoky Slate and Real Red and the new Pretty in Pink, the new old, because Pretty in Pink is returning. I'm gonna color my mouse Smoky Slate. And I always start with a light. Some people start with the dark and move to the light. Some people go the other way around. Sometimes, I just do whatever, I don't know. You can leave a little white spot in different places too. Sometimes to denote where the light's hitting. And then I'll come in and I'll come back over with it a dark and do some shading. But I like to put down the light layer first. The trick with getting a really great image is lots of coloring, lots of layering. I'm being very gentle with my brush tip here. I'll color the others later. I come in and just around the edges where I want some more shading. I'll bring this in. And, he's nice and round. So we'll get all the round areas of him. A little bit underneath his arm. And a little bit underneath the heart. A little bit around here, around his head. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with I'm going to come in with a bullet tip so I can blend it a little bit better. And I'm just going to go over it and kind of rub around and rub in. Now it's going to be a little bit darker until it dries. So it goes on a little bit darker than it dries. Gonna look a little weird at first, but you'll see that even down here it's starting to blend, and you can see you've lost the harsh lines between the light and the dark. It will darken up the original light a little bit. Just come back in here, and the more that you kind of go over this, the more it blends, because the paper will become a little bit more saturated with the alcohol. It won't blend as well if you do the light leave it for some time, and then come back with a black or the darker because it dries. All right, so let's give him a pink little nose and a little pink inside his ear and pink little feet. All right. And then we're going to color the heart. And I'm going to start with, you know what, that's a fairly small image. I'm going to start with the bullet tip of my light, and I'm going to color the whole heart. This is light real red, even though it looks kind of pink. It does dry a little bit more red than it is going on. I'm going to come in with my darker color, and again I'm going to go around the edges. And then I'm going to come back in with my light and just make it all nice and smooth. And there's my little mouse. Now I'm going to take this die that goes with him. We'll put him on, put that on there. And at the same time, I'm going to get these little hearts out, this rainbow of hearts. It will punch out. You can use the negative so that you get a hole full of hearts, or lots of holes in your paper full of hearts. But you can also take the punch out pieces and use them, which is what I'm going to do with our card now. So let's bring in our die cutting stuff. And we need 1, 2, a number 3 plate. I'm going to cut out this little guy. I'm going to go ahead and put a sticky, because who knows where some of my washi tape is. But you can use a Post-it note, washi tape, whatever. I want to take a little bit of time, make sure I see his whole tail, his everything else. Okay, so I've got that stuck on there. I'm going to bring in this little scrap of red. Before I bring in the red, I think I'm going to change my mind and bring in a piece of Pretty in Pink, because that'll fit much better on there. Let's go ahead and bring in my machine, and I just need the top plate on over this and run it through. And so you can see that you get this, see all the little holes that I was talking about? And so if you were to put another color behind it, you have that. But what I'm concentrating on right now are all these little teeny tiny hearts. I'm going to set them aside because I want to run this through again with the real red cardstock. I'm going to use both of these colors on my card. And here we have a nice, beautiful little mouse. Look how cute he is. All right, let's go back and we're going to cut the red. This is great for scraps. You know, obviously this would be great for Valentine's Day, but this is not a Valentine's set. It doesn't have the word Valentine in any of the sayings. But you could certainly use it for that, couldn't you? All right, there we have that. Let's just push these off to the side now. I don't know if you can really see, but It's almost a heart within a heart, so there's some embossing there going on. And so the other side, you can tell which side is up and which side is the wrong side. I have a base card of smoky slate and another layer of smoky slate that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again, and an embossing folder. I'm going to dry emboss, and the folder that I will be using is this one, which is the cane weave. And you can certainly see the weave a little bit better on this than you can on something that is already embossed. You will need your number 1 plate and your your 4 plate. But before you put that in, when I put this in here, because there are lines going vertically and horizontal in here, I'd like to get this in pretty straight. So I'm going to take this little line that is down here by the Stampin' Up logo, and I'm going to line that up with the edge of my cardstock. So that will help it come out right. You want to make sure you put your folded edge through first. Now I can show you what happens when you don't put the right edge through, or you don't put it through, quote unquote straight. So this looks pretty good now. But if you look at this piece, it looks very crooked, and the closer you see, you can see this piece, you can see this one going, wow, it kind of veers off to the left. Let me see what happens if I put it in again to emboss, but this time I line it up. Sometimes you can correct it, and sometimes you can't. Kind of depends on what the pattern is of the folder. I suspect I can't really do a good correction here, but we're gonna try it out anyway. What's my alternative? Just throw it away, right? And that's what I was gonna do before. Oh, you know what? This came out pretty good. Salvaged. There's a little bit of extra texture in there, I think. Yeah, so in the middle of the cane weave, there's a little bit of extra texture, but it looks kind of good. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use it on one of those other cards I need to make. All right, so let's bring in our card base, and we're going to glue this to our card base. Just had a panic attack and thought I might not actually have pressed record, but I did. So I'm good to go. All right, so that looks pretty good on there. And for those of you who like distressing, you can kind of distress the edges of this. I like the glue because it kind of holds it down nicely everywhere. Now this little mouse is gonna go right here. We're gonna pop him up on dimensionals. One at the bottom and one at the top. I don't really need one for his tail, I don't think. He would have to be pretty thin anyways. And we're gonna put him right here. And I need the word thanks. I'm gonna bring in a scrap of basic white here, and I only needed 1/2 inch thick. I'm probably cutting off the camera, but 1/2 inch. It looks like 2 1/2 inch pieces. I just got my nails done for my trip, and it's hard to pick things up with the extra thickness of nail polish. All right, so, but isn't that a pretty color? Nice and springy, don't you think? My toes match. All right, I'm gonna bring in the thanks stamp that is in this set. I'll mount that. And let's bring in our real red ink pad. there I have a nice little thanks right at the end. Just going to trim this, and this end doesn't have to be really neat because we're just going to tuck it. I'm going to tuck it right in here so it looks like that. All right. But I do need to glue it, so we'll add a little bit of glue. Oh, picking up the hearts is going to be difficult with these nails, I think. First world problems, right? Okay. So I'm going to bring in these hearts again, and I'm going to just take a little dab of glue. Make sure I'm putting it on the divot end, so the wrong side, if you will. And then I'm gonna just plop it down there. And these do not have to be quote unquote straight. They can be turned a little bit, whichever way you like it. And I'm gonna just put in reds and pinks with no rhyme or reason. Come on, where's my glue? Come on, there we go. You don't need a lot of glue. I mean, I could put the glue dot on here, I suppose. Let's try it that way. So maybe I'll put a red one here. And that's when I can use my take your pick tool, probably. There we go. And then I'll put another one right here. And it doesn't have to be equal spacing. Oh, that's too much glue. Hold on, hold on. I gotta get that glue off. That was gonna be a glue disaster. All right, let's see what I can do here. And you're gonna put them on until you think you have enough. So let's try a pink one. And then let's try another pink one. I want to make sure that my putty is picking up the puffy end. Ooh. Fingers are a little sticky. Okay, and let's try another pink one. All right, now I think what I might want to do is continue on with just a few more. They're going completely off the card. And I think I want another one right here to fill it out a little bit. So again, you can just be pretty random. You could also put a third color in here if you wanted to. You could put some white in there. The glue was a little bit big on the dot there. But you can just wipe it away. It dries clear. And let's see here. My red one up, puffy side. I want my puffy side up. All right, let's go with another pink and another red. But not at the same time. Let's angle them a little bit. And then I got this pink one right here. And so he's sending lots of love up and off the page. Let's see. Now, if you wanted, you could have placed them ahead of time to see if you like where they go. Like, I didn't like that one. Would I like it better if it was here? Nope, I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that one right there. And so that's our card. Now we do have a couple of hearts left over. So this is a thank you card. I'm not going to write anything on the inside really, but I am going to cut a piece of cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to put that on the inside. It's a thank you card. There's no inside sentiment, just room for writing my note of thanks. Of course, I could write a sentiment in there, and it could be the one that says, I could just hug you. But instead, what I'm going to do is just put in a couple of hearts. A little bit of glue. And I want to make sure the puffy side is going to be up. Let's put the dark one down first. And then we can put the pink one down next. Oops. My finger's a little sticky. I took it up with me. There we go. We just have a little bit of love on the inside. And there is our card. It's so adorable. I love this little mouse. In fact, I love all the critters in here. They just look so happy and so so tender and full of love, which I guess is the point, right? Thanks for joining Crash and I for this Friday Night Live. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be with you. I don't think I can be live next week either because I have a work meeting that was scheduled with a bunch of other people. So, but after that, I should be back live. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see some of you tomorrow at my new catalog launch. Don't forget, I'm going to have new catalogs there. If you'd like one, stop by, even if you haven't RSVP'd. I've got the cardstock and projects cut for those of you who did RSVP, but that doesn't mean the rest of you can't drop by and say hi and see what there is to see. Have a great weekend, everybody.